Hey everyone, this is Mary from SVG Cuts, and I'm here today with some really fun home decor and gift items that I hope you have fun making. And obviously, first of all, we have this really cool full-size little topiary. And I think topiaries have been cool for a while. I don't think they've ever gone out of style. I don't think they ever will. They're just like a classic, cool thing. So I think if you make this, it's safe to say you can display it like forever at home, in your craft room, in a spare bedroom, really anywhere, because even though it's paper, it's totally cool, and you can have a lot of fun choosing your pattern and then choosing your coordinating color of flowers to go with your pattern and make it look however you want. So I've got all kinds of craft supplies over here, which I picked up at Michael's, and I'll get to those later when I show you how to make this. But just so you know, I'm going to go through everything that I used to put this together. And it's even got some little pebbles on the bottom to weight it down, and it's just nice and sturdy. So the other notable part of this kit is our super cute little three-dimensional piano box, and the top lifts off. So this is the lid, and the bottom is like this. And since the sides of the piano are not round, they're all like flat sides, it's actually really easy to make. There's no guesswork when it comes to putting it together. You just glue the straight sides all together, and before you know it, you're done and you have a really cute little piano for someone who loves music, piano teacher, or music teacher or whatever. And the cool thing about the keys is that you don't have to glue each one separately down. They just fold over the top. So you just put a dot of glue, fold them over, and you're done. So I'll also show you that here in just a minute, how that works. But we also have a cute little dimensional tag, and it's, it looks like a box, but it doesn't open and close, and you don't put anything inside of it. It's just a tag that's thick, just for a new twist on a cool shape of a tag, And we also have two cards that coordinate with everything. And this one just has some pretty little banners on it and whatnot. And of course, you could leave off the many and stamp whatever you want in the little oval. You could make the oval bigger. You could leave it all off and just put like, a bird or something up here and make it just for any occasion. So we also have our cool doily card here, which is really pretty. It's like a nice statement with this really cool intricate doily. And I had fun stamping on all three of these. You could do, just one, or you could just make it pattern paper and not stamp on it. Whatever, just get creative and have fun. So those stamps that I used are all from Hero Arts. And whenever I go to Archivers, I'm lucky enough to have an Archivers not too far away from me, and lately these have just been my favorite sentiment stamps, because I really just stick to sentiments mostly. And if you're looking for sentiments and you've got your 30% off coupon, it's not too bad. So I like those a lot. And I also love this paper here, which I got on 2peasinabucket.com. And once again, it's by My Mind's Eye, which is one of my favorite paper companies. I think every time they come out with a new line of paper, I'm like, gotta have that. It's really cute. So it's really pretty, as you can see, and I didn't even use all of it up, so I've got lots left. Cute stickers, and they always have all kinds of really fun embellishments and smaller paper pads, so I loved that. But of course, any kind of cool paper that you have is gonna look awesome with your project. So I've got all my pieces cut out to show you how the three-dimensional items go together, so let's get started. So first of all, let's take a look at our topiary. And I'm going to go ahead and start with one of the 3D flowers. And the ball is a 6-inch foam ball. And so 32 flowers fit on it perfectly, which means you can cut it out 8 times if you're using a 12 by 12 mat, because this is all explained in your PDF. But you're going to need 9 pieces of cardstock if you're using a 12 by 12 mat, and you're going to end up with 32 flowers plus some little filler flowers. There's also a bunch of extra little tiny filler flowers like this, just to fill in those extra little gaps. So as you can see, I just took a little dowel that I had laying around. I think you could also use a pen or a pencil or anything that's about a similar size to this. And I'm just taking each little petal and I am just curling it under. And as you can see, this one has 4 petals on it, and this one has 3, and the other 2 had 5 and 6. So each flower is made up of these pieces, which is 6 petals, 5 petals, 4 petals, 3 petals. So I've gone ahead and curled them now I want to bend them up, and then I'm going to grab my glue and get a little bit going on this tab here and hold that for a second while it dries. And I didn't even bother to crease these inner creases, which is totally fine. And then I don't need to be very meticulous about this back because no one is going to see it once it's on your project. So I just want to glue this on, and then all I'm going to do is just, oops, need to push that down from the top to make sure my glue is in place here. And then I'm going to take my pin, and I got a package of pins at Michael's that are pink because my flowers are pink. They had a couple different colors. I think white would look good on just about anything, or if you want to try to match your color of your flower, I think that's nice. And as you can see, I'm not even gluing these together, I'm just stacking them one on top of the other. And then of course you want to remove the plastic. I think I'm going to be returning this green one because I didn't need it, and you just poke it right in. So let's take a look at the way that I did mine. You can use green if you want and just leave it green. If the green shows through, maybe it looks like leaves. Or for mine, I took a white ball and I wanted to paint it the same color as my flowers, which is pink. So I ended up taking it outside and using a can of spray paint to just put a thin little layer of pink paint. First, I tried to use regular craft paint, and that is not something that works very well on styrofoam. I tried to, put some in a little thing and use a foam brush to apply it, and it really just, it all just sinks in. You can't spread it. Just, if you want to skip even trying to do that, you can learn from my experience. So I think you want to go ahead and put your dowel in your ball before you get too many flowers onto it. I used a 7/16 size dowel, and it's a foot long. But again, I think anything similar, if it's a little bit thicker or a little bit thinner, I don't think it matters. So what I did was I got my little paint supplies here, and I just painted it green because that coordinates with my paper and I thought it looked nice. I also treated myself to a little glitter paint, which I also put an extra layer of glitter on, totally optional. So let's say that my dowel is painted the color that I want it. I'm just going to go ahead and stick it right into my ball. If you want to make a starter hole with a smaller size, object first to guide it, you can do that, and then just jam that right in, maybe about an inch, inch and a half or so. So let's say that our ball is covered with flowers and it has the dowel in it. Next, we're going to want to put together our small urn, which is on the bottom of our project here. So let me grab the pieces for my small urn. And first of all, we've got 8 pieces that look like this because there's 8 sides. And we've got the bottom. And then I've got 2 pieces that look like this to finish off the inside at the end. So now what I want to do is fold them like this. I want to go ahead and crease all these folded areas. And this top one folds, away from me, and so does this second to the bottom one. So all I'm going to do is very carefully put a thin little layer of glue on each of these tabs. And all these 8 pieces like this are all the same, so you can grab any one of them. And I'm going to be extra careful with my glue so that it's not oozing out the sides, so that I don't get it on my fingers, because it's not really made out of the most friendly materials. It works so well, but if you're like me and you craft, every week, and you get this stuff on your hands every week, I don't think it's the greatest idea. Okay, so you're just going to keep going around like this until you have all 8 pieces together. So I went ahead and started doing that already. So I'm just going to finish mine up here, and then we'll close it up. So now I'm just on my final seam here of my urn, and like before, you know, just the same exact thing. I'm just putting glue on all of those tabs, and just one at a time, just gluing each one down, giving it a moment to dry before I move on to its neighbor. And if you just take it one step at a time, it's actually really simple. Before you know it, you're all done. So let's just flip it over and glue our bottom in place. And to do that, all I'm going to do is put glue on all of these tabs. And I want to do my best to get the glue all the way out to the corners so that the corners are not coming apart at any point. And just place that right on the bottom and line it up as best you can. You know, mine's not lined up perfectly, but you get the idea. And then I can flip it over and push down from the inside. Now I can take these little interior pieces and put glue all over them. Maybe you can take your time a little more than than I'm taking right now. But these just go right on the inside to hide those tabs and finish it off. You can go ahead and stick the second one right inside like that. So now I can take I've got 8 pieces like this, which are my panels, and I only want to put glue on the top and the bottom sections so that I can just place that right on the top, give it a minute to dry, and then place the bottom into place. And go ahead and do that with all 8 sides. And since there's no glue in here, it makes a nice little curved shape. So next I can take my rocks. I got these for $1 at Michael's, or if you got some rocks outside, go for it. And I just took a handful or 2 and I filled up the bottom layer. And I would say it's just, the rocks go to about, you know, about there. But really whatever, it doesn't have to be exactly like mine. Yours doesn't have to be just like mine. So next I want to put my florist foam into place. And here's something that I want to be really careful with, and I think you should be aware of also being careful with your florist foam, because it works really well. It does such a great job. It does exactly what we need it to do, but unfortunately it's kind of made out of some yucky chemicals. So if you can do your best to contain any dust that you might make to your area so it's easy to clean up. So my piece of foam here is 2.6 by 3.5 by 3.5, and that's also in your PDF if you want to check that out. And I want to cut it to fit inside here. So as you can see, it's just a little too big. So I want to just trim off these corners just like this. And now it will fit inside, but it's a little bit too tall. So I'm going to trim off about 3/4 of an inch or 1/2 inch off the top. And this little handy knife I got at Michael's, it's about $8, even less if you have a coupon. And it comes in handy for random crafts, but I'm sure you could also use, you know, like a steak knife or something, and then wash it off really well. So I'm going to pack these little extra pieces on the inside here, and I'm getting this foam dust all over the place, so I'm going to bust out my vacuum cleaner and get a rag and some cleaner as soon as I'm done here. I'm sure it's not really going to hurt anything, but just to be safe. So there's my foam packed inside. And now I want to take my grass. Now I found this grass in the floral area. It's not just paper, it's like shredded wood almost, which looks kind of nice, especially if you're going to be leaving out your project as like home decor. It's just a little bit nicer than the paper grass. And then I can just take my dowel, and I think this part is probably the hardest part of this whole project, just getting it to go straight down without making it like slide off to the side. So I think just take your time and look at it from above, and you know, even put it down on the floor, and as you go maybe rotate it so you can see if it's not straight, and then just do your best to stick your dowel down in there with the grass already in there and painted and everything. So that is my topiary project. I also picked up these pretty ribbons at Michael's and I like them because they're wired edge, which means that I can, you know, bend the bow to make it look really nice and just how I want. So next let's take a look at our piano, and I've got the lid separately here, and the lid is just made up of this main piece here and then this strip, and then we've got some panels that are going to go on at the end as decoration. So let's start by folding it like this. As you can see, it's starting to take shape already. And then we want these tabs here to be facing up. And I'm going to start by gluing this corner, this side corner tab here, right onto the front. And I got a little wacky and cut this out of white paper, which is kind of fun. I saw our fan Elkie from Facebook. She made a really awesome white piano this morning too. So let's put some glue on this one here also. And I was going to say that I think you don't really see a lot of crazy colored pianos in real life because, you know, people want them to look nice and be timeless and just be plain and classy. But I think you can totally get crazy and have fun making like any color piano that you want. You could get crazy and make a pink one, or like zebra stripes, or really anything. So that's going to be really fun to see what you come up with. So as you can see, I'm just putting glue on. I'm going to go ahead and put it on all of these tabs. If you want to just do half of them first and then do the second half, you can do that too. But I'm pretty confident I can get this together before my glue starts to dry. So now all I'm going to do is just line up each of these tabs with the top of my box. Pretty easy, as long as I take my time and let each one dry a tiny bit before I move on. I can get it together, and it's really pretty straightforward. So now I'm kind of rushing a little bit, and mine is not completely perfect, but you get the idea of how it goes together. So just do your best to line those up real nice. And then I can take my piece here with this funky little thing off the side of it, and I went ahead and glued, there's a little panel on top here and a little panel on top just to make it stronger. And that just gets glued right to the top of my piano. And I can flip it over and press down from the inside. And then I could, if I want to here, I can take a glue dot. That's the brand name of these, but I think any kind of little dot of sticky glue is going to do the trick. And before I do this, I want to go ahead and embellish the front with my, whatever my top panel paper looks like, and my little music notes and everything. And then I can go ahead and kind of take a look at where this is going to hit, where this little stick is going to hit, and then I'm going to place a glue dot right there, and then just stick that right on. And that's enough to just hold it in place. So there's my lid. I can also go ahead and take my little music stand and my sheet music, and I put a three-dimensional pop dot here and here, and I stuck it like this, and then I just glued that right to the front of my piano. So now let's take a look at the bottom of the piano box. And I've already gone ahead and started to put a little bit of it together. And I've got my strips. I've got 3 legs, which look like this, and I went ahead and I started to put the legs into the bottom piece. This big white piece is just all one piece, and the legs come through the 3 holes. So let's go ahead now and just finish off this 3rd leg by putting some glue on that side tab and gluing that right into place. Then on the bottom of the leg is a little bit smaller than the top, and it also has a square on one side. That's how you know it's the bottom. And just put glue on those 3 tabs and fold it over. And now I can bend these top tabs backwards, and I'm going to put glue. I'm going to put a dot of glue, 1, 2, 3, 4 around the square. And it's a perfect square, so you can put it in any direction, and then I'll flip it over and press down. So now I can go ahead and really do the same thing that I did with my lid. It's really the same principle. I've got these 2 strips like this, and I want to take this side tab, load it up with a nice little thin layer of glue, and glue them together. And then I can go ahead and start to put it on my piano. So the way that this works is this top crease gets folded the opposite way. And then, as you can see from the side here, it's going to get lined up just like this. So I'm going to start by putting glue on these 3 tabs on the side. And these 3 tabs are the same on the other side too. So I want to make sure that this tab is getting tucked inside. And then I will get this first tab into place and give it a chance to dry a little bit. And then put these other 2 into place also. So let's give those just another few seconds to dry before I move on, or else it'll come apart. And then all I want to do is the same exact thing on the other side. Again, being sure to tuck this long tab in before I glue everything down. Put some glue on these 3 triangle tabs and start by putting this front one in place here. And I'll give it a moment to dry, and then I will start putting these 2 into place and give them a chance to dry too. So now all that's left to do is glue this bottom right on down here, and I can just put glue on all of these tabs at once, because again, I'm confident here that I can get the glue on nicely enough, quickly enough, and start working before the glue starts to dry. But if you need to take it more in segments, a couple at a time or half at a time, you can do that too, because you can always work from the inside and fold each tab up from the inside and put glue on it, if that works better for you. So again, I'm just going to line up each little tab with these sides of the bottom of my piano here. And it really just kind of falls into place. You can do your best and get as meticulous as you would like. And mine is coming out pretty darn well. I just want to squeeze these, make sure the glue is holding. And now it's pretty much together, but let's glue this piece in place. Just put glue all over the back of it and slide it in there to finish it off. And then I can take my 2 strips, and one of them has a triangle on the end. I want to put glue all over the entire little triangle and stick that onto the other one to form one long strip. And then all I want to do is, I'm just going to put a line of glue down it. You can get more meticulous and cover the whole thing better with glue if you would like to. But, oops, you know what? This actually goes on the lid, not on the bottom. I'm sorry. This goes on your lid like this. Just right in the middle, all the way around. And I'm not even going to really press it down too hard because I don't really want it to fold. I'm just going to press it in certain little spots. So you can do that too if you want, or if you want to press it all the way down, that's fine. So there's my strip around. And now for my keys, each little black key gets folded up, and you can glue this white piece right down like this, and then put a tiny little dot of glue on the back of each key and just fold them all over. So that's pretty easy, huh? Okay, so let's take a look at our tag. So finally for our tag here, it's really just 4 main pieces with some decoration on the front. So if you want to go ahead and take your panel here and glue it onto either one of these as the face, go ahead and do that now. And then we can take our long strips here and grab either one of them, put some glue on the side tab, and glue that right into place. And then go ahead and do the same thing on this other side tab and put that into place. Now, it's pretty self-explanatory here, pretty easy. Now we just need to, I need my glue to dry before I start wrangling this whole thing here. So now I'm just going to put glue on all of these carefully, being careful to get the glue all the way out to the little corners of each tab. And then of course we're just going to put the face in place, and then I won't even show you the back because it's the same exact thing. The front and the back are identical, and they go on identical in identical ways. So obviously I'm just gonna stick this right on the front here, and I'll just do my best to make it real nice. And I think you should do the front first if it matters. It doesn't really matter that much, but it gives you more control over fixing it if you need to adjust it a little bit. You can push down from the inside and then go ahead and do the same thing with the back. And then if you want to finish it off even more, you could take some sandpaper and rub that on the edges. So there you have it, super fun paper projects. I hope you love them. I hope you have fun making them. And if you do, as always, we'd love to see pictures on our Facebook wall or in our forum or Instagram or on your blog or what have you. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time, and happy crafting.
Learn more by visiting www.svgcuts.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and watch all of our crafty videos on YouTube. It's a world of crafty content with you in the middle. SVGcuts.com, inspiring you to live creatively and beautifully.